The meeting room was as oppressive as a sky before a storm. I sat in the conference room on the 38th floor of the GU Group, twisting a pen in my hand as I listened to the chief financial officer report the previous quarter's performance. To be honest, these numbers I knew inside out. After all, 51% of the group's shares were in my name, and I could see every cent of where it went more clearly than anyone. But some people simply don't understand who the real master is. Well, let's stop at the financial data for now. A crisp female voice cut into the briefing. I looked up, and the person standing in front of the projection screen was Lin Wanqing, the newly arrived deputy general manager. She wore a Chanel haute couture suit, strode in 10-centimeter stiletto heels, wore bright red lipstick, and looked both beautiful and formidable, like a powerful woman stepping out of a TV drama. Lin Wanqing scanned everyone present, finally fixing her gaze on me, and the corner of her mouth curled into a determined smile. Before we proceed to the next item, I have something to announce. She cleared her throat, and her voice rose by an octave. Shenwei, you're fired. The whole room instantly fell silent. Everyone was stunned, their eyes shifting between me and Lin Wuqing, and the air in the meeting room seemed to be drained, every breath audible. I stopped twirling the pen, slowly raised my head, and looked at Lin Wuqing. What did you say? I asked, my voice very calm. Lin Wanqing raised her chin, both hands propping on the conference table, looking down at me from a height. You're fired. HR will handle your resignation procedures. Pack up your desk today, and leave GU's Group, she added deliberately after speaking. Can't hear human speech. Someone in the conference room drew a sharp breath. To know this, although I hold the position of marketing director in the GU Group, everyone knows that I am the wife of the GU Group's president, Gu Yanxin. After marrying into the GU family for 3 years, I never put on airs. I sit in the corner in meetings, and I rarely vie with others for anything in daily life. Everyone thinks I have a good temper and am easy to get along with, but having a good temper doesn't mean I'm easy to bully. I turned my head to look at the man sitting at the head of the table, my husband, GU Group's president, Gu Yanxin. He sat there with a pale, iron blue face, lips pressed into a straight line, hands folded on the desk, eyes fixed on the folder in front of him, saying nothing at all interesting. Lin Wanqing glanced at Gu Yanxin instead of getting up to pack, and she sneered coldly. What are you looking at? Do you think Brother Yanxin will speak up for you? Let me tell you, making me the deputy general manager is also Brother Yanxin's idea. Letting me fire you is also Brother Yanxin's idea. When she said this, her tone carried an indescribable sense of pride and affection. The 3 characters Yanxin G sounds so smooth when called. I smiled a little, stood up slowly, and straightened my skirt. Husband, I turned to Gu Yanxin, voice not loud, but everyone in the conference room could hear clearly. You this little lover, you really have guts. Lin Wanqing's face stiffened. Gu Yanxin suddenly raised his head, a hint of panic flashing in his eyes. The room sank into dead silence again. Everyone widened their eyes, dimension disbelief at what they heard. The president's lover, the newly appointed deputy general manager, is the president's lover, and he even dares, in front of the president, to dismiss the president's wife. This melon is way too big. You, what nonsense are you talking? Lin Wanqing's face flushed bright red, her voice even changed tone. I and Brother Yanxin are innocent. Don't smear me with your blood-stained mouth. I looked at her, and my smile grew even deeper. Innocent, calling him so intimately, and you're claiming innocence. Lin Wanqing opened her mouth, then turned to look at Gu Yanxin. Yanxin, look at her, she is accusing me. Gu Yanxin finally spoke, his voice a bit tight. Shenwei, there's something to discuss. Go back home and talk about it. This is the company. Go home and say. I raised an eyebrow. You're about to fire my lover, and you still tell me to go home. I turned around and faced more than 20 company executives in the meeting room, my voice not loud, but every word was weighty. Everyone, since everyone is here today, I have something I want to announce. Lin Wanqing frowned. Do you have anything else to announce? You're no longer an employee of GU's Group. Please leave immediately. Leave? I smiled at her. Are you sure? Do you have the qualification to make me leave? Lin Wanqing sneered. I am the deputy general manager. I do have the authority to dismiss a marketing director. Indeed, the deputy general manager has the authority to dismiss a director. I nodded in approval. Lin Wanqing smiled proudly. That's right. So please, But, I interrupted her, my voice suddenly turning cold, can the deputy general manager's authority fire the chairman? Lin Wanqing's smile stiffened on her face. The whole venue erupted in an uproar. Everyone widened their eyes and stared at me, as if they were seeing something unbelievable. Chairman? Who is the chairman? The chairman of the Gu Group has been vacant for a long time. After old Master Gu passed away, the chair position had been hanging in the air, and everyone thought, sooner or later, Gu Yanchen would take over. But what I say now, Chairman, what do you mean? Lin Wanqing's voice began to tremble. I didn't answer her. Instead, I pulled out my phone and dialed the secretary of the board. Hello, Secretary Li. Inform all directors to convene an emergency board meeting in half an hour. My voice was as calm as if I were commenting on the nice weather today. The chairman of Gu's group has been publicly ousted. This matter must be explained properly. Hanging up the phone, I looked up at Lin Wanqing, whose face was as pale as earth. Right, I forgot to introduce myself. My voice was soft, as if speaking to a child who doesn't understand. I am not only the president's wife, I am also the controlling shareholder of Gu Group with 51%, currently the chairman. Shenwei, that's my name. Who did you just say you were going to fire? The conference room was so quiet that you could hear the pin drop. Lin Wanqing's face turned as pale as paper, and her lips trembled, unable to utter a single word. She turned her head to look at Gu Yanchen, her eyes full of pleading and fear, but Gu Yanchen at this moment was equally pale, both hands gripping the armrests of the chair tightly, his knuckles whitening. No way, this is impossible, Lin Wanqing whispered to herself. How could you be the chairman? The chairman of Gu's group should be. What should be? I stepped forward. What you think? Is that Gu family's business? What you think is that as long as you lie on Gu Yanchen's bed, you can become the wife of the president and bring the entire company into your pocket. I smiled, but there was not a hint of warmth in my smile. Lin Wanqing, you are too naive. Gu's group has never been a Gu family business. When Mr. Gu founded the company, all the funding came from the Shen family. The Gu family appeared only in name. Before the old master passed away, he drew up a will. 51% of the company's shares belong to me, Shenwei, and the Gu family only has 49%. That is why I can be the chairman, while the man you long for, Yanshen, can only be a president, a worker for me, a high-class laborer. Gu Yanshen's face turned completely grim. He suddenly stood up. The chair slid back, crashed into the wall with a loud bang. Shenwei, enough, he roared. I turned my head, looking at the man who has shared my bed for 3 years, my gaze as calm as if I were looking at a stranger. Is that enough? I don't think it's enough. Gu Yanshen, you've kept a lover outside behind my back. Do you think I don't know? You let her into the company as vice president. Do you think I don't know? You had her publicly fire me, trying to force me to leave the company myself. Do you think I know nothing? I just want to see how shameless you can be. Today, I see it clearly. Gu Yanshen's face alternated between red and white, his lips trembled for a long time, and he couldn't utter a single word. Lin Wanqing had completely collapsed. She slumped in the chair, tears pouring down, continuously murmuring, impossible, impossible. How could she be the chairwoman? I picked up the folder on the desk and patted the non-existent dust off the fabric of my skirt. The board meeting starts in half an hour. Both of you, do you want to attend together? I smiled a little and turned to head toward the conference room door. When I reached the door, I paused for a moment and didn't look back. By the way, Vice President Lin, you said you would fire me. Right, sorry, from now on, the one to be fired is you. Personnel procedures, I'll handle them personally for you. After speaking, I pushed open the door to the conference room and walked out without looking back. Behind me, I could hear Lin Wanqing's heart-wrenching cries and Gu Yanshen throwing things. A slight smile curled at the corner of my mouth. The show has just begun. Chapter 2, The Mistress's Haughtiness. After the board meeting, the entire Gu group was in an uproar. I sat in the chairman's office, flipping through Lin Wanqing's employment files, and a cold smile tugged at the corners of my mouth. MBA from a prestigious university, overseas study background, 3 years of work experience, directly parachuted into the position of vice president. In the recommendation column, the 3 characters Gu Yanshen were clearly written. My good husband, you really are so well-meaning. The office door was pushed open. Assistant Xiao Lu peeked in. Chairman, Deputy General Manager Lin is outside, saying that she wants to see you. Let her in. I closed the folder and leaned back in the chair. The door was slammed open. Lin Wanqing strode in stilettos, eyes red, hair a bit disheveled, clearly just cried. As soon as she walked in, she pointed at my nose and cursed, "Shinwei, you bitch, did you do this on purpose? You've known who I am for a long time, you just want to see me embarrass myself." I looked at her and spoke calmly, "Deputy General Lin, oh no, you are no longer Deputy General now, Miss Lin. Please watch your wording, this is the chairman's office, and what you just said already constitutes workplace harassment." "Workplace harassment," Lin Wanqing sneered coldly, tears welling up again. "You snatched my man, and you still have the nerve to say workplace harassment?" I raised an eyebrow. "You say you snatched your man, are you talking about Gu Yanchen?" "Yes, it's brother Yanchen." Lin Wanqing dabbed at her tears, her voice choked. "I've been with brother Yanchen for 2 years. 2 years. Do you know how I've lived those 2 years? He always said to wait for the right moment and then divorce you, said to let me wait a little longer. I've waited until now, and what I got is you strutting around here like this." I listened without getting angry, and instead, I smiled. 2 years. Do you know how long I've been married to Gu Yanchen? 3 years. That means we've been married for barely a year. And he's already tangled with you. Lin Wanqing was stunned for a moment, then she stiffened her neck and said, "So what? Brother Yanchen said he doesn't love you at all. He married you only for the Gu family's shares. He loves me." I looked at her and suddenly found it a little ridiculous. This woman, she doesn't even realize she's being used as a pawn. "Lin Wanqing," I stood up, walked in front of her. "Gu Yanchen says he loves you, right? Then did he tell you that 51% of the Gu Group's shares are in my hands? Did he tell you that his monthly salary and bonuses all have to be approved by me?" Lin Wanqing's face changed a little. "I keep saying, he said he would divorce me once the time is right. Do you know what that time is? It's after he finds a way to trick the shares in my hands away. Once he has the shares, do you think he will still want you?" "You're talking nonsense," Lin Wanqing cried sharply. "Brother Yanchen isn't that kind of person. He truly loves me. He said he would marry me and give me the best life." "Marry you?" I laughed out loud. "Do you know that Gu Yanchen has no assets under his name? Houses, cars, savings, all are under my name. If we divorce, he would walk away with nothing. Then what could he use to marry you? What could he use to give you the best life?" Lin Wanqing's face completely paled. She opened her mouth, wanting to say something, but she couldn't utter a single word. I watched her expression, knowing that her resolve had begun to waver. This woman may be arrogant, but she isn't stupid. She would surely understand what I said. But at this moment, the office door was pushed open again. Gu Yanchen strode in, his expression dark enough to drip water. He looked at Lin Wanqing once, then at me, grinding his teeth as he asked, "Shinwei, what exactly do you want? What do you want to do?" I sat back in the chair, propping my legs up. "Gu Yanchen, what do you want to do, right? You keep a lover outside behind my back. You even brought the person into the company as vice president, and you want her to fire me? Tell me, who wants what?" Gu Yan took a deep breath, restraining his temper and said, "Shinwei, Wanqing and I are just ordinary friends. Don't read too much into it. Let her be the vice president because she has the ability. As for firing you, that's her personal decision and has nothing to do with me." I couldn't help clapping for him. "Wonderful, truly wonderful, Gu Yanchen. Your ability to pass the buck is far better than your ability to do business." Lin Wanqing's face darkened as she heard Gu Yanchen's words. She turned to look at Gu Yanchen, her voice trembling. "Yanchenji, what did you say? We're just ordinary friends." Gu Yanchen's expression stiffened, and he hurried to say, "Wanqing, this isn't the time to talk about that now. When is the time to talk about it?" Lin Wanqing's tears fell again. "You just said that firing her was her personal decision and had nothing to do with you. Clearly you told me to do this. It would be enough to push her out of the company, and the matter of the shares would be settled, and now you say it has nothing to do with you." Gu Yanchen's face darkened completely. "Lin Wanqing, shut up." "I won't shut up." Lin Wanqing completely shattered, crying out, "Shinwei, I tell you, it was Gu Yanchen who made me vice president. It was Gu Yanchen who told me to dismiss you. He said that as long as he drives you out of the company, the shares in your hands will be forced to be sold, and then he can buy them back. The whole company will be his," he said. "That once he becomes chairman, he will divorce you and marry me. All of this is his idea." I looked at the hysterical Lin Wanqing, and then at Gu Yanchen with a pale face. I slowly took a voice recorder from the drawer and pressed play. In the recording, Lin Wanqing's voice came through clearly. "Brother Yanchen said he doesn't love you at all. He married you only for the Gu family's shares." Then came Gu Yanchen's voice, "Wanqing, don't mess around. Once I get the shares, I will divorce her immediately. The recording continued to play, and every word was like a knife, peeling away Gu Yanshin's disguise layer by layer. Gu Yanshin's eyes widened. You recorded. Of course. I turned off the recorder, smiling. Do you think I'm some naive sweet girl who knows nothing? From the first day you brought Lin Wanqing into the company, I had people plant a bug on her. Lin Wanqing screamed. Did you install a bug on me? You pervert. Compared to you pair of dogs, I think I'm quite normal. Cheating, marriage deception, scheming to taking shares. Which of your deeds isn't more perverted than bugging? Gu Yanshin slammed the table. Shinwei, don't go too far, too far. I stood up, hands on the table, gazing directly into his eyes. Gu Yanshin, I give you one last chance. Resign as president voluntarily, transfer the shares to me, and I can give you a severance, and we part on good terms. Otherwise. I picked up the recorder and shook it. This recording, plus Lin Wanqing's testimony just now, is enough to keep you in prison for several years. Gu Yanshin's face turned from iron blue to deathly white. Lin Wanqing was also startled into silence. She stammered, imprisonment, that's impossible. We are just, what is it really? Merely conspiring to defraud others of their property, merely commercial fraud. I gave a cold sneer. Miss Lin, if you don't understand the law, read more. Gu Yanshin clenched his teeth, staring at me with his eyes full of hatred. Shinwei, do you think you've won? He said through gritted teeth. Don't forget, my mom is still alive, and the Gu family relatives are still in the company, so what if the shares are yours? Without people from the Gu family to help manage the company, can you support it on your own? I laughed, a very bright laugh. This isn't something you need to worry about. Just right, there's a board meeting tomorrow. I will clean out every single one of you Gu family members. Gu Yanshin's pupils suddenly constricted. You dare, try it, now, please you and your little lover, leave my office. Security, escort them out. 2 security guards pushed the door open, standing on either side of Gu Yanshin and Lin Wanqing. Gu Yanshin stared at me intently, then finally jerked his hand away and turned to walk out. Lin Wanqing stood in place, tears streaming down her face, her lips trembling as she said, Shinwei, you won't have a good ending. I smiled at her. Whether my ending is good or not is none of your business. Your ending, on the other hand, can be predicted in advance. Tomorrow, you will receive a summons from the court. Lin Wanqing's face immediately lost all color, and she staggered out. The office finally quieted down. I sat back in the chair and looked at the bustling city skyline outside the window, not a ripple of emotion in my heart. Gu Yanshin, do you think you know me? You think after marrying you for 3 years, I would really just be a housewife at others' mercy? You're wrong. These 3 years, I have waited for the day you make a mistake. Now, you have finally made one. The good show has only just begun. Chapter 3, The President's Demise. The next morning, before I even arrived at the company, my phone had exploded with calls. The first call was from Gu Yanshin. I didn't pick up. The second was from Gu Mu, and I still didn't pick up. The third was Lao Chen from the company's board of directors, saying Gu Yanshin had arrived at the company early this morning and summoned all the executives to the conference room to impeach me. Impeach me? I smiled. I told the driver to slow down the car a bit, and went to the company at a leisurely pace. As soon as I arrived downstairs at the company, I saw a crowd gathered in the lobby. Gu Yanshin stood at the front, followed by 7 or 8 senior executives of the company, all relatives of the Gu family. Shinwei, Gu Yanshin saw me and strode over. You've come just in time. I've already summoned the board of directors and called for a re-election of the chairman. I looked at him and raised an eyebrow. Re-elect? Why? Gu Yanshin sneered, pulling a document from his pocket. Because of this is a transfer agreement for 15% of the company's shares. I've bought these shares from several minor shareholders, combined with the Gu family's existing 49%. I now hold 64% of the shares. Shinwei, your 51% isn't enough to watch. The whole venue erupted in an uproar. Everyone looked at me, some pitying, some gloating, some nervous to the point of sweaty palms. I looked at the document, silent for a few seconds, then smiled. Gu Yanshin, are you sure your 15% stake was legally purchased? Gu Yanshin's expression changed. Of course legal, black and white, shareholder signatures, lawyers' witnesses. What's the issue? Is there a problem? It's not up to you to decide. I pulled out my phone, opened a video, and held it up in front of him. In the video, a middle-aged man facing the camera said, I'm Wang Jiangwo, a minor shareholder of the Gu Group. I am filing a real name report. Gu Yenchen used threats to force me to transfer my shares. He said if I didn't sign, my son wouldn't be able to make it in the industry. I was forced. The video continued to play, and several other minor shareholders also appeared on screen, accusing Gu Yenchen of using various means to force them to transfer their shares. Gu Yenchen's face turned pale. How could you have this? Because I started investigating you 6 months in advance. Gu Yenchen, do you think your sneaky stock buying could hide from me? The intermediaries you found are all my people. From the moment you contacted the first minor shareholder, I knew. The reason I didn't stop you is that I wanted to see just how stupid you could be. Gu Yenchen's hand holding the documents trembled, his voice faltering. Shenwei, did you set me up? Set me up? I smiled and shook my head. I was just protecting my own property. Which of these things did I force you to do? Cheating, marriage fraud, threatening shareholders, illegal stock acquisitions, all of them were your own choices. The hall was terrifyingly quiet. The relatives of Gu Yenchen after Gu Yenchen's death all looked uneasy. They had come to back Gu Yenchen, but now they realized they might have chosen the wrong side. I look around, my voice calm but strong. Everyone, I have reported Gu Yenchen's illegal stock acquisitions to the Securities Regulatory Commission and the Public Security Authorities. If nothing goes wrong, all of his shares will be frozen this afternoon. In other words, the 64% stake he currently holds is not worth a single penny. Gu Yenchen stepped back abruptly, nearly losing his balance. I approached him, leaned close to his ear, and lowered my voice. Gu Yenchen, I told you once before, I'd give you a chance to resign willingly and take the severance pay to walk away. If you won't listen and insist on clashing with me, you'll get what you deserve. Now, you don't even have the severance pay left. I stepped back and spoke loudly. Security, please escort Mr. Gu Yenchen out. From today, he is no longer the president of the Gu Group, nor a shareholder of the Gu Group. He is nothing. 2 security guards stepped forward and pinned Gu Yenchen's arms. Gu Yenchen suddenly struggled to stand up. Shenwei, you can't treat me this way. I'm your husband. I'm from the Gu family. The company belongs to the Gu family. The company belongs to the Shen family. I corrected him. You're just a son-in-law who has married in. Gu's family is merely a nominal shareholder. Now, please leave. The security guard dragged Gu Yenchen outside, and he struggled while shouting, Shenwei, you will regret this. You will surely regret this. I watched his back and shouted, by the way, I've already had the lawyer prepare the divorce agreement. It will be delivered to you today. I demand that you leave the marriage with nothing. All joint property of the note, keep as husband and wife's communal property, will belong to me. If you disagree, we'll see each other in court. At that time, you will not only lose everything you own, but you will also go to jail. Gu Yenchen was dragged out of the hall, his curses growing more distant, and finally vanished outside the gates. There was a deathly silence. In the hall, I turned around and looked at the relatives who care about the family, and my voice was cold. Everyone, did you resign on your own, or should I help you resign? A middle-aged woman stood up. Gu Yenchen's aunt Gu Lihua. She pointed at my nose and cursed. Shenwei, you ingrate. We raised you for 3 years in the Gu family, and this is how you repay us. Raised me? I smiled. Madam Gu, you've got it wrong. It's I who have been supporting your Gu family for these 3 years. Everyone in your Gu family has eaten, worn, and used things, and not a single penny wasn't provided by the company. Not a single penny from the company is not from my Shen family. If you want to call it raising, then it's Shenwei who has raised your Gu family for 3 years. Gu Lihua was choked and unable to speak. I continued, I'll give you 1 day, if you submit your resignations. I can give you 3 months' salary as compensation. If I still see you in the company tomorrow, don't blame me for being rude. Everyone, disperse now. After I spoke, I turned toward the elevator, and behind me came a chorus of whispers and curses. I pretend I didn't hear it at all. In the instant the elevator doors closed, my phone rang. It was Gu Mu calling. I hesitated for a moment, then answered the call. On the other end, Gu Mu's voice was sharp and piercing. Shenwei, what did you do to my son? Let him go right now. Otherwise I'm not done with you, I calmly said. Mom, I didn't do anything to him. I just had him leave the company. Leave the company? That's his company. What right do you have to make him leave his company? I let out a laugh. Mom, 51% of the Gu Group is in my name. The company is mine. Your son is just an employee. Now he made a mistake, and he was fired, which is only natural. You bitch. Mrs. Gu cursed loudly. I shouldn't have let Yenchen marry you in the first place. You're a bad omen. I interrupt her. Mom, have you sworn enough? If you've sworn enough, I'll hang up. By the way, that villa in the suburbs, it was bought with company money as well. Starting from tomorrow, that villa will be taken back. You'd better pack up in advance. What? Gumu's voice changed. How dare you? Dare or not, you'll know tomorrow. I hung up, and the elevator happened to arrive on the 38th floor. The elevator door opened, and Assistant Xiaolu stood outside, holding a stack of documents in his hand. Chairman, everything you asked for has been prepared, Xiaolu said. The divorce agreement, the share transfer agreement, the complaint, everything is ready. I took the documents, flipped through them, and nodded with satisfaction. Very good, send these to Gu Yenshin, and also, contact the TV station and the newspaper office. I want to hold a press conference. Xiaolu was stunned. A press conference? Chairman, what are you going to announce? I closed the file, smiling. Announce that the Gu Group officially changes its name to the Shin Group. From today, there will be no Gu family left in this world. Chapter 4, Mother-in-law's Plea. On the afternoon the press conference ended, Gu's mother rushed to the company. I was in the office looking at the financial statements at the time when the door was suddenly pushed open with a bang. Gu's mother stormed in a rage, followed by 2 security guards, who looked uneasy and said, Chairman, we can't stop her. It's fine, you all may go out. I waved, and the security guard stepped out. Mother Gu wore a mink fur coat, a gold necklace as thick as a thumb around her neck, and 3 large gold rings on her fingers. She looked like a moving Christmas tree. She stood in front of me, hands on her hips, eyes wide as copper bells. Shinwei, you heartless thing, she yelled as soon as she spoke, you drove my son out of the company, and you froze all his cards. He can't even eat now. Are you even human? I leaned back in the chair and looked at her calmly. Mom, if your son can't even eat, that's his own problem. He still has several properties under his name. If he sells them, won't he have money? Those several properties have also been frozen by you, the mother of Gu said, trembling all over in anger. You won't even leave him a house. Do you want him to sleep on the streets? Those houses were bought with company money. Of course they have to be taken back. Mom, please don't get excited. The villa under your name, I've also taken it back. The house you're living in now is a private apartment under my name. I can let you stay for 1 more month, and after a month please move out. Gu Mu's face turned a liver-colored, and she slammed the table. Shinwei, don't push it too far. I tell you, if you dare touch our Gu family's things, I'll sue you in court. Sue me? I laughed. Mom, what are you going to sue me with? Those things were originally mine. Your son cheated, lied about marriage, and illegally acquired shares. All the evidence is in my hands. If you go to sue me, I don't mind sending your son to prison. Gu Mu's complexion instantly changed, her lips trembling, eyes red. Shinwei, her voice suddenly softened. Xiaowei, please, Mom asks you to spare Yenshin. He was momentarily confused, misled by that Xinsha spirit. He loves you, really, in his heart. There is only you. I looked at Mrs. Gu, with no ripple in my heart. 3 years ago, when I married into the Gu family, she did not have this attitude. At that time, she disliked my background. Thought I was a foster daughter from the Shin family, not blood-related, not worthy of her son. She forced me to sign a prenuptial agreement, saying that if I divorced, I would not receive a single cent. She even at the wedding, in front of more than 100 tables of guests, said that I had climbed up to the Gu family. I still remember those words clearly now. Mom, 3 years ago when you asked me to sign a prenuptial agreement, you said something. Do you remember, Mrs. Gu was stunned. You said, I mimicked her tone, Shinwei, you marrying into our Gu family is because our ancestors burned incense for you. If you dare to betray Yenshin, our Gu family can make your life worse than death. Did you say that? Gu's mother's face alternated between red and white. Now, I stood up, hands on the table, looking directly into her eyes. It's your son who owes me, affairs, keeping a lover, lying about shares. Each thing is enough to ruin him, you tell me, by the standards you held back then. What should your son's fate be? Gu's mother opened her mouth, but could not utter a single word. After a long while, she suddenly dropped to her knees with a thud. Xiaowei, please, I beg you, she cried. Mom is kneeling before you. Please spare Yenshin this time. He will never dare again. Mom promises, he will never dare again. Looking at Gu's mother kneeling on the ground, I felt a mixture of emotions in my heart. This woman was so arrogant back then. She humiliated me in front of everyone, forced me to sign an unequal treaty, and treated me like a servant. Now, for her son, she actually kneels before me, but I am not moved, not one bit moved, because I know she isn't truly repentant, she's only has no other choice. Mom, please get up, no more kneeling. Gu's mother lifted her head, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. Did you forgive Yenshin? No, I shook my head. I just think that you kneeling here will make others think I bullied an old person. Security, too. Security guards pushed the door open. Please have Aunt Gu escorted out. From now on, without my permission, she is not allowed to enter the company. The security guard stepped forward to help Aunt Gu up. Aunt Gu struggles to stand, shouting, Shinwei, you ingrate. You will get what you deserve. You will surely get what you deserve. I am dragged out by the security guards. Aunt Gu's voice grows fainter. Our Gu family will not let you off. Just you wait for me. The office door closed. And the world finally quieted down. I sat back in the chair and rubbed my temples. My phone rang again. It was the lawyer, President Shin. Gu Yenshin refuses to sign the divorce agreement, the lawyer said. He says unless you give him 30% of the company's shares, he will not leave. I sneered. Dragging? Can he drag it out? The divorce filing process has already started. It can be decided in as fast as 3 months. During this period, all of his assets will be frozen, and he won't even be able to afford a lawyer, the lawyer said. President Shin, there's one more thing. Lin Wanqing has hired a lawyer and plans to countersue you for invading her privacy, claiming you installed a bug in her. Tell her to sue. The bug was installed before she joined the company. It was security equipment in public areas and does not constitute invasion of privacy. If her lawyer can't even distinguish this, they should consider changing careers. I hung up the phone, stood up, and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window. Outside the window, the city lights turned on one by one, like stars. Suddenly I remembered 3 years ago, when I had just married into the Gu family. It was also such a night. I stood alone on the balcony of the Gu family villa, listening to Gu Mu and relatives in the living room talking badly about me, saying I'm not worthy of their son, saying I came to snatch their inheritance. At that time I swore that, one day, I would make all these people shut up. Now I did it. There was a knocking from behind. Xiaolu poked his head in. Chairman, the TV station people have arrived. They want to interview you. Let them in. I turned, straightened my clothes. Let the whole world know that Shinwei is not a woman to be trifled with. Chapter 5. The Mistress's trump card. The interview wasn't over yet when came out. Lin Wanqing posted a video on social media, sobbing as she accused me, saying I'm a poisonous wife, that Gu Yenshin truly loves her, and that I used money and power to force Gu Yenshin to marry me. At the end of the video, she held her belly and said one sentence that left everyone stunned. I'm pregnant with Yenshin's baby. It's already 3 months. Shinwei, you broke apart our little family. You will have retribution. When the news reached my ears, I was being interviewed by a TV station. The reporter saw the mobile news push. Their faces changed, and they carefully asked if I wanted to respond. I smiled and said to the camera, coincidentally, I have something I'd like to show everyone. I had Xiaolu bring over the materials that had long been prepared, a medical examination report. I held the report up to the camera so the footage would be clear. This is Lin Wanqing's medical examination from 3 months ago, which clearly states, incomplete uterine development, cannot conceive. She said she was pregnant, 3 months along. Then I want to ask, how does a woman who cannot conceive get pregnant? The scene at the interview was in an uproar. The reporter widened his eyes. Mr. Shin, are you sure this report is real? Of course, this is the medical examination Lin Wanqing had before joining the company, the original document stored in the company's archives. I've had the legal department notarize it. It can be released to the public at any time if Lin Wanqing insists that she is pregnant. I don't mind sending her to a hospital for an examination in front of the media. Let's see whether there's a child in her belly, as soon as the video aired, the whole internet erupted. Lin Wanqing's social media comment section was instantly swarmed, netizens filled with curses, a fake pregnancy to gain sympathy. This woman is so disgusting. Is cheating justified now? Getting pregnant too? Ridiculous. How could you be pregnant without even a uterus? Boss Shin is so domineering. This is the true queen. Gu Yenshin is too miserable. He was deceived by the mistress and even helped count the money for the other man. So miserable. Serves him right for cheating. Lin Wanqing's lawyer quickly issued a statement saying that the medical examination report was forged and that Shinwei was maliciously spreading rumors. I immediately asked the legal affairs department to scan and post the original medical examination report online, along with the hospital's contact information and notarized documents. The hospital also released a statement confirming that the report is genuine and that Lin Wanqing herself underwent the examination. With video surveillance as proof, Lin Wanqing's lies have been exposed and shown to be full of holes. That night, Gu Yanchen called me. His voice was hoarse. It sounded as if he had drunk a lot. Shinwei, Wanqing, she really can't give birth, can she? I sneered. Gu Yanchen, you've been involved with a woman for 2 years, and you still don't know whether she can have children. There was a long silence on the other end of the line. I thought she was really pregnant, Gu Yanchen's voice cracked with tears. She said she was carrying my child, and what are you, just want to divorce me for the sake of the child? Gu Yanchen, you're truly hopelessly stupid. That woman has been lying to you from start to finish, and you actually believed her. Do you know why she says she's pregnant? Because she knows, once she loses her usefulness, you'll discard her. Pregnancy is her last trump card. Unfortunately, this card is fake. Gu Yanchen suddenly started crying, a grown man crying on the phone like a child. Shinwei, I was wrong, I really was wrong. Can you forgive me? Can we start over? I listened to his crying without a trace of sympathy in my heart. Gu Yanchen, you have no right to say to start over. When you slept with Lin Wanqing, when you let her become the vice president, when you wanted to push me out of the company, you had already pushed me to your opposing side. Now, we are enemies. Either you die or I live. On the other end of the phone, Gu Yanchen cried harder. Shinwei, I love you, I really love you. I was just confused for a moment, just a moment of confusion for 2 years. Gu Yanchen, don't make excuses for yourself. If you don't love me, you never did. You married me because of the shares I hold. You want a divorce also because of the shares I hold. In your eyes, I have never been a wife, only an ATM. Now, the ATM is broken, and it's time for you to wake up. I hung up the phone. The phone rang again immediately, and it was Lin Wanqing calling. I hesitated for a moment and picked up. Lin Wanqing's voice was sharp and piercing. Shinwei, you destroyed me. You completely destroyed me. I have nothing left. Brother Yanchen doesn't want me. Everyone's cursing me. I can't go on living. That's what you get for yourself. Lin Wanqing, you intrude on others' marriage, deceive for money, and pretend to be pregnant to gain sympathy. Did you ever think about today when you did these things? I don't care, Lin Wanqing screamed. I want you to die. I want you to die with me. A harsh screech of brakes came from the other end of the line, followed by a loud crash, and then busy signals. I was momentarily stunned and quickly called back, but no one answered. I asked Xiaolu to check Lin Wanqing's location, and Xiaolu said her phone signal last appeared on the elevated road in the east part of the city. My heart suddenly sank. Although I hate this woman, if something really happened to her. 10 minutes later, the news arrived. Lin Wanqing drove onto the elevated road toward the median and crashed the car. The person was severely injured and rushed to the hospital. There was no life-threatening danger, but both legs were fractured, and she would have to lie in bed for at least half a year. When Gu Yanchen arrived at the hospital, Lin Wanqing had just come out of the operating room. Seeing Gu Yanchen, she cried and said, Brother Yanchen, I'm sorry. I deceived you. I wasn't pregnant. I just wanted you to be on my side. Gu Yanchen looked at her, his eyes devoid of pity, only with disgust. Lin Wanqing, you caused me to lose the company, my wife, and everything. From now on, I never want to see you again. After speaking, he turned and walked away. Lin Wanqing lay on the hospital bed, tears streaming down her face, muttering incessantly, Yanchen-ji, don't go. Don't abandon me. I stood at the doorway of the ward, unable to put into words what I felt. In my heart, this woman who once swaggered so boldly as to fire the chairman in public now lay on the hospital bed, her legs in casts, her face swollen like a pig's head, abandoned by the man she loves. Is she pitiful? Pitiful, but the pitiable person has something to be resented. I turned and left the hospital, without going in to see her, not because I am soft-hearted, but because she does not deserve it. Chapter 6. Cleaning the company. Lin Wanqing's case is settled for now, but my work is only Beginning, what comes next is the real main event, the cleansing of Gu's influence within the company. Gu's family has entrenched itself in the Gu group for 30 years, planting countless relatives from top to bottom, from department managers to the chief financial officer, from procurement supervisors to HR specialists. Everywhere is filled with people named Gu. These people earn high salaries, do the least speaking, and yet gossip about me behind my back. I tolerated it before to save face for Gu Yanchen now. There is no need. On Monday morning, I held a company-wide meeting. More than 300 people sat in the large conference room, silent as mice. Everyone knew that something big was going to happen today. I stood on the stage, holding a list in my hand, my voice not loud, but every word stabbed into the hearts of everyone present like a nail. Ladies and gentlemen, today I convene this meeting to announce a series of personnel changes. I lowered my head to glance at the list and read out the first name, Gu Lihua, Deputy Director of the Finance Department. During your tenure, you used your position to embezzle company funds totaling more than 5 million. The evidence has been handed over to the Economic Investigation Department. From today you are dismissed, and you will face criminal prosecution. In the audience, Gu Lihua suddenly stood up, her face pale as paper. Shinwei, you are slandering me. I did not embezzle public funds. I opened the projection, and the screen showed transfer records, time, amount, recipient accounts, clear and precise. Ms. Gu, would you like me to read them aloud for you, one by one? I said coldly. Gu Lihua collapsed back into her chair, unable to utter another word. The security guard stepped forward and took her outside. The meeting room was so quiet you could hear a heartbeat. I continue with the second name, Gu Jianjun, Procurement Department Manager. During his tenure, he accepted supplier kickbacks totaling over 2 million. Likewise, the evidence has been handed over, and you have been fired. Gu Jianjun is a middle-aged man in his 50s who usually tyrannizes others at the company, and no one dares to provoke him. At this moment, he stands up, points his finger at my nose, and curses, Shinwei, you be *****H. What right do you have to fire me? I am a Gu family member. This company belongs to our Gu family. The company is the Shin family's. I corrected him. And when you took kickbacks, did you ever think that you were Gut's family member? Gu Jianjun still wanted to curse, but the security guard covered his mouth and dragged him out directly. Third, Gu Jinsu's wife, Wang Fong, the head of the Human Resources Department. During her tenure, she arranged for relatives to join the company on non-productive salaries, and was fired. Fourth, Gu Yanchen's younger uncle Gu Jianmin, director of the marketing department. During his tenure, he fraudulently inflated expenses, embezzled travel funds, and was fired. The fifth, the sixth, the seventh. I read them aloud one by one, and each time I read a name, someone was escorted out by security. Some cried and begged for mercy, some cursed loudly, some were so scared their legs would not carry them. I did not spare any of them. These people are holding the company's money and doing things that harm the company. There used to be Gu Yanchen shielding them, so no one dared to touch them. Now, I won't let any of them go. After finishing the last name, I raised my head and looked at the employees remaining in the audience. In a company of more than 300 people, 47 have been fired, all of them from the Gu family. The meeting room was suddenly empty in large swaths. From today on, the Gu group will officially change its name to the Shin group. All job vacancies will be filled through open competition. Competent people, stay and work with me. Those who are not capable, leave on your own as soon as possible. I don't support idlers. The audience in the stalls burst into applause, initially sparse, then becoming more and more enthusiastic. I know these applauses are not only for me, but also for those who were dismissed. The pests finally got what they deserved and expelled. After the meeting adjourned, I went back to the office, and Xiao Lu followed in, handing me a cup of coffee. Chairman, you were really handsome today. Xiao Lu's eyes sparkled. Those people who pretend to be powerful and all that in private, you've knocked them all down today. I smiled and took a sip of coffee. It's not over yet. Not over yet. Xiao Lu widened his eyes. Although the Gu family has been purged from the company, they still hold 49% of the shares. If these shares aren't recovered, it will always be a hidden danger. So what do you plan to do? I've already contacted a few investors, and they will purchase these shares from the Gu family. The Gu family has no money now. They can't hold out for long. They will certainly sell. Once all the shares are recovered, the Shin group will be Mine alone. Little Lou was deeply impressed. Chairman, you are really amazing. I was about to speak when my phone rang. It's an unfamiliar number, I answered. An elderly male voice came through the line. Shinwei, it's me, Zhao Dimeo, the old friend of old Master Gu. Before his passing, Zhao Dimeo, I remembered now, he was old Master Gu's sworn brother, and one of the veterans of the Gu group, who retired a few years ago. Uncle Zhao, hello, I said. Shinwei, I'm calling you today to ask for some help on behalf of the Gu family, Zhao Dimeo said. The Gu family has made mistakes, but you wiping them all out, isn't that too harsh? Didn't old Master Gu treat you well back then? I was silent for a few seconds. Uncle Zhao, old Master Gu did treat me well indeed, but how the rest of the Gu family treated me, you should also be aware. Besides, I didn't wipe them all out, I only let them leave the company. And I didn't shortchange them on any compensation, those who were sued did. Something illegal, it has nothing to do with me, Zhao Dimeo sighed. Shinwei, I know you have a point, but leave some room for mercy, so we may meet again later. Gu Yenshin is still your husband, and you haven't divorced yet. We'll be leaving soon, Uncle Zhao. Thank you for your concern, but as for this matter, I know my own limits. Zhao Dimeo sighed again and hung up the phone. I put down my phone and leaned back in the chair. Do you want to leave a way out for yourself, back when the Gu family forced me to sign a prenuptial agreement? Did I have a way out, back when Gu Yenshin cheated and kept a lover? Did I have a way out, back when they tried to drive me out of the company and take my shares? Did I have a way out? None. They didn't leave even a single line. Then why should I stay? Chapter 7. The reversal of public opinion. I thought that clearing out the Gu family would put an end to the matter, but I underestimated the madness of the Gu family. Just on the second day after the company changed its name, a flood of articles smearing me suddenly flooded the internet. The headlines were more and more lurid. The rise and fall of the rich, how Shinwei used schemes to deceive the Gu family's assets. Original wife becomes a tyrant. Shinwei expels her husband from the company. Even the grandmother kneels and pleads but is not spared. Insider reveals Shinwei is not the biological daughter of the Shin family at all. She is a fake. The article describes me as a calculating, ruthless woman, saying I used unsightly means to steal the Gu family's shares, that I drove my mother-in-law out of the house, and that I had an affair with a male colleague in the company. There are even a few photos included, of me talking to a male director at the company, deliberately cropped to look very intimate. I know this must be the handiwork of the Gu family, haunting and scaring people behind the scenes. Gu Lihua's daughter, my cousin Gu Cici, is a small online celebrity with hundreds of thousands of followers. She started a live stream on social media, crying and saying that I've ruined her entire family. My aunt, uncle, elder uncle, and aunt have all been fired by Shinwei. Gu Cici cried on the live stream. My grandma is over 60, driven out of the house by Shinwei, now living in a rental place, crying every day. Shinwei even said she would put my aunt in prison. She just wants to see our Gu family destroyed. The live viewing count rose from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands, and the comment section was full of curses. This Shinwei is really cruel. Poor CC, a hug. The world of rich people is really scary. They'll do anything for money. Support CC, boycott the Shin group. The matter is getting bigger and bigger, with netizens even launching campaigns to boycott Shin group products. The company's stock price began to fall, and several major clients called to inquire about the situation. I sat in the office, watching online public opinion pile on to attack me, and I couldn't help but laugh. Xiaolu spun around anxiously. Chairman, how can you still smile? People online are almost turning you into a sieve with all the insults. Let them insult. The harsher the insults, the more brilliant the reversal will be. Reversal. Xiaolu was surprised. Do you have a way? I opened the drawer, took out a stack of documents and a USB drive. These are all the evidence I've collected over the years. The transfer records showing Gu Lihua embezzling funds, the chat screenshots of Gu Jianjun taking kickbacks, and evidence of other Gu family members' corruption. All of it is here, and there are also photos and chat records of Gu Yanshin's cheating, hotel records, Lin Wanqing's original physical examination report, and a copy of the prenuptial agreement my mother forced me to sign, not missing a single one. Xiaolu widened his eyes. Chairman, you've prepared this long ago. I said I've been preparing since the day they started scheming against me. I stood up. Notify the TV station, I'm going live. Xiaolu was startled. going live now, isn't that like walking straight into the gun barrel? Walk into the gun barrel, I smiled. What I'm going to smash is their gun. An hour later, I sat in front of the camera, the live streaming platform went live, and the number of viewers instantly exceeded 100,000. I wasn't wearing makeup, I wasn't wearing designer brands. I was just in a plain white shirt, showing up without makeup. Hello everyone, I'm Shinwei, I said to the camera. There have been a lot of rumors about me online recently, and I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you a few truths. The barrage instantly started flooding the screen. Is she Shinwei? She looks quite decent. A woman who is ruthless and cruel. Return my Aunt Cece. Fraud. Imposter. I ignored the barrage and picked up the first document. Some people say I stole the Gu family's assets. I'd like everyone to take a look at this document. The shareholding structure of the Gu Group. I held the document up to the camera so everyone could see clearly. Gu Group, Shin family holds 51%, Gu family holds 49%. This shareholding structure was personally established by Grandpa Gu before he died, notarized by a notary, and confirmed by the court. In other words, from the start the company wasn't from the Gu family, but from the Shin family. As the representative of the Shin family, I hold 51% of the shares and am the company's controlling shareholder and chairman. Who did I fool? The barrage fell silent for a few seconds, then someone began to question, how do you prove that this document is genuine? I was prepared in advance, and one by one I displayed the notarization certificate from the notary office and the court judgment. All of these documents can be looked up by their numbers on the official website. Please feel free to check. I continued to take out the second document. Some say I have driven out and eliminated people from the Gu family. Let me show you what the reasons for their dismissal were. A piece of evidence after another was displayed. Gu Lihua embezzled with a transfer record of 5 million. Gu Jianjun emailed screenshots showing a 2 million bribery. Wang Fong arranged 15 relatives to be on the payroll for nothing. Each of these pieces of evidence has the stamp and confirmation from the police and tax authorities. They were not framed by me. They have indeed committed crimes. As the chairman of the company, when I discovered employees breaking the law, dismissing them and holding them accountable, isn't that what should be done? The direction of the barrage is starting to change. Damn, misappropriating 5 million, that's pretty brutal. 2 million in kickbacks, no wonder President Shin wants to fire him. Paying 15 people for doing nothing, that's just brazen. Wait a minute, if it's true, then President Shin is not wrong. Gu Si means fans began to strike back. This is all fake. Shinwei forged the evidence. I laughed and took out the third document. Someone says I forged the evidence. Then I'll show everyone one more thing. The evidence that Gu Yanqing cheated. I screenshot the chat records between Gu Yanqing and Lin Wanqing, the room booking records, and hotel surveillance screenshots, displaying them one by one. Each one has a time and place. Clearly, the barrage exploded completely. D***men. This man has a wife and still goes out to have an affair, is the third young woman that Lin Wanqing, the one who faked the pregnancy. I remember now. Didn't Lin Wanqing say she was pregnant herself? But the physical examination report says she cannot bear children. This couple of dogs is so disgusting. General Manager Shin is so pitiful, being cheated on and still being insulted. I continue to take out the fourth document. Finally, let everyone see my mother-in-law, Gu Mu, who pressured me to sign the prenuptial agreement back then. The agreement is written in black and white. If Shinwei and Gu Yanqing divorce, Shinwei shall not take away any of the Gu family's assets, including real estate, vehicles, deposits, and company shares. Do you see? From the very beginning, the Gu family has been wary of me. They were afraid I would take away their assets, so they forced me to sign this unequal treaty. But what about the result? It was their son who cheated. It was their son who wanted to seize my shares. It was their son who first did wrong to me. Now, they say I'm the cruel one, who is truly heartless. I set the documents down, looked at the camera, my voice calm but firm. Dear netizens, I'm hosting this live today not to seek sympathy, nor to scold anyone. I just want everyone to see the truth. Everything I do is within the bounds of the law to protect my own legitimate rights and interests. I have not wronged anyone. The live room fell quiet for a few seconds. Then the barrage began to flood in crazily. President Shin is so domineering. Support President Shin. Boycott Gu's family, who was just insulting President Shin. Come out and apologize. Gu Cece come out to face the music. It turns out President Shin is the real victim. We were all deceived. After the live broadcast ended, public opinion completely flipped. Gu Cece's livestream room was shut down for comments being banned, and her fans dropped by hundreds of thousands. The cases of Gu Lihua, Gu Jianjun and others were widely reported by the media, and everyone online was vilifying them. Not only did the company's stock price recover, it also reached a new high. Several major customers who said they were going to terminate cooperation called again, saying they would continue the partnership, and apologized that they had been misled. I stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, looking out at the city. Xiaolu knocked on the door and came in, his face full of excitement. "Chairman, you're amazing. One live broadcast resolved all the problems." I smiled. Not yet, not yet. Xiaolu was stunned again. Gu's family still holds 49% of the shares. Only when I buy back all of these shares will it be a real ending. By then, the Shin Group will be my sole domain. Chapter 8. The Mistress's Madness. After the live stream reversed, Gu Jiao completely collapsed. Gu Lihua, Gu Jianjun and others were formally arrested, awaiting legal trial. Other relatives of the Gu family either fled or hid at home and dared not go out. After being driven out of the villa, Gu's mother lived in a dilapidated rental apartment, weeping all day. What happened to Gu Yenshin? He seemed to have vanished from the world. The phone won't connect, and I can't find him. Some say he went abroad, some say he's in hiding, and others say he committed suicide. I don't care where he went, as long as the divorce agreement is signed. Lin Wanqing, that woman, lost her mind at this moment. That afternoon, I was sitting in my office reading documents when the door was kicked open with a bang. Lin Wanqing, leaning on a crutch, staggered in. Her leg was in a cast, she had injuries on her face, her hair was a mess, her eyes were bloodshot, and she looked like a madwoman. "Shinwei," she shouted piercingly, "you ruined me, you ruined everything of mine." I looked up and calmly asked her, "Lin Wanqing, how did you get in? Where are the security guards? Those wastes can't stop me." Lin Wanqing threw away her crutch, limping toward me, her right hand slipping into her clothes as if she were digging for something. "I told you, I came today with no intention of leaving alive." She pulled a fruit knife from her clothes, the blade glinting coldly in the light. My heart tightened, but I showed no panic on my face. "Lin Wanqing, what do you intend to do?" I stood up, slowly stepped back, my hand quietly reaching for the alarm on the table. "What do I intend to do?" Lin Wanqing let out a crazed laugh, tears streaming down her face. "I want you dead. You ruined my child. You ruined brother Yenshin. You ruined my legs, you made me the joke of the whole internet. I'm going to kill you, then I'll die too. Let's both perish together." She held up a knife and lunged at me. I slammed the alarm button, and a piercing siren rang through the entire floor. I sidestepped to the side. Lin Wanqing missed her target and crashed heavily to the ground. The plaster cast on her leg, newly fixed, cracked with a loud snap. "Ah," she cried out in pain, but she still gripped the knife tightly, struggling to get up. I seized the opportunity to run toward the door, but Lin Wanqing grabbed my ankle and dragged me to the ground. "Don't think about running." She pounced on me like crazy, the knife tip aiming straight at my chest. In the nick of time, the door was kicked open, and 2 security guards rushed in. One security guard leapt up and kicked the knife out of Lin Wanqing's hand, while the other guard pinned her to the ground. "Let me go, let me go." Lin Wanqing struggled desperately, like a snake under a stomp. "I will kill her, I will kill her." The security guards restrained Lin Wanqing. I stood up, brushed the dust from my clothes, and walked over to her. Lin Wanqing looked up, face covered in snot and tears, glaring at me viciously. "Shinwei, if you don't kill me today, I will come for you someday." I looked at her without anger, without fear, only a deep sorrow. This woman, once an outstanding student at a prestigious university, once the youngest executive in the company, once had a bright future ahead of her, but she just chose to be a mistress, just chose to lie, just chose to take the crooked path. Now, she has nothing left. "Lin Wanqing," I said calmly, "do you know why you have come to this point today?" Lin Wanqing paused for a moment. "Not because of me, it's because of you yourself. You meddled in someone else's marriage, you chose that. You faked pregnancy to gain sympathy, you chose that. You came today with a knife to kill me, that too, you chose. No one forced you, you ruined yourself." Lin Wanqing's tears were streaming down, her lips trembling, and she couldn't utter a single word. "Call the police," I told the security guard. The police arrived quickly and put handcuffs on Lin Wanqing. When she was being taken away, she looked back at me, her eyes full of hatred and despair. "Shinwei, I will not let you off even if I become a ghost." I watched her being dragged into the police car, And not a trace of emotion crossed my mind. This woman is already completely finished. That night, the lawyer called and said that Lin Wanqing's actions constituted attempted murder, with a minimum sentence of more than 3 years. President Shin, do you want to pursue her criminal liability? The lawyer asked. Pursue it. Go all the way. Okay, I'll take care of it now. After hanging up, I stood by the window, looking at the night outside. The phone rang, from an unfamiliar number. I answered, and from the other end came a hoarse voice, Shinwei. It's me. It was Gu Yenshin. Where are you? I asked. I'm in a place you can't find. Gu Yenshin's voice sounded very weak. Shinwei, I want to see you. What's worth seeing? Did you sign the divorce agreement or not? Signed, Gu Yenshin said. I signed for everything. The company for you, the house for you, the money for you. I want nothing. I just want to see you once. The last time, I was silent for a few seconds. Where are you? The riverside on the west side of the city is the place you promised to marry me all those years ago. My heart suddenly clenched. That place is where we decided to be together. 3 years ago, Gu Yenshin proposed to me under the fireworks by the river, and I thought it was the start of happiness. I didn't expect that. This was the beginning of a nightmare. Wait for me. I'll go. I hung up the phone, grabbed the car keys, and went out. Xiao Lu chased after me. Chairman, it's so late. Where are you going? Shall I accompany you? No need. I'll go by myself. I drove to the west side of the city by the river. And from afar I could see a figure sitting on the embankment. It was Gu Yenshin. He had lost a lot of weight, his hair was messy, his beard grew out, and he wore a wrinkled shirt, looking like a vagrant. I walked over and stood behind him. Gu Yenshin. He turned his head, seeing me, and his eyes immediately reddened. Shinwei, you came. He stood up, staggered toward me for 2 steps, and almost fell. I supported him. Have you been drinking? I did. Drink a lot. Gu Yenshin forced a smile and said. If I hadn't drunk, I wouldn't have the courage to see you. He looked at me, tears streaming down his face. Shinwei, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you. I shouldn't have cheated. I shouldn't have let Wanqing become deputy general. I shouldn't have wanted to take your shares. I was wrong. I was really wrong. Can you forgive me? As I looked at the one-spirited man in front of me, there was no heartbreak in my heart, only relief. Gu Yenshin, I forgive you. Gu Yenshin's eyes brightened a moment. But I won't get back with you, I continued. Forgiving you is letting myself off. Not getting back with you is because you don't deserve me. Gu Yenshin's tears flowed even more fiercely. Shinwei, do we really have no chance? No, since the day you slept with Lin Wanqing, there has been no chance. As long as we sign the divorce agreement, it's fine. From now on, we will each walk our own path. Gu Yenshin lowered his head, his shoulders trembling violently, crying like a child. I turned around and walked away, not looking back. Behind me, the crying of Gu Yenshin and the sound of the river water washing against the shore could be heard. The wind was strong, whipping my hair every which way, yet in my heart, there was an unprecedented calm. Chapter 9, Ex-Husband's Admission. I thought that day by the riverbank was the final farewell, but I was wrong. Early the next morning, when I arrived at the company, a big crowd had gathered downstairs. The security guard jogged over, looking uneasy. Chairman, Gu Yenshin is kneeling at the door. What? I was a little stunned when I got to the door and looked out. Sure enough, Gu Yenshin was kneeling in front of the company's gate, head bowed, not saying a word. His clothes were still that wrinkled shirt from yesterday, with a hard cardboard board under his knees, on which a few words were written. Shinwei, please forgive me. A circle of people stood around watching the scene, some taking photos with their phones, some pointing and talking. Xiao Lu followed behind me, whispering, Chairman, should we call the police? I shake my head and walk in front of Gu Yenshin. Gu Yenshin, what are you kneeling here for? Gu Yenshin lifts his head, eyes red and swollen, voice hoarse. Shinwei, I don't ask you to forgive me. I only ask you to let me stay by your side. Even as a driver or a security guard, I would be willing. I don't want money. I don't want shares. I don't want anything. I just want to see you. Every day, I looked at him, feeling neither moved nor touched, only weary. Gu Yenshin, do you think that if you kneel here, I will soften my heart? Do you think that if you act out a scene of misery, I will retract the divorce agreement? Do you think you are still the man who moved my heart 3 years ago? I crouched down, looking him straight in the eye. Gu Yenshin, I'm telling you, you're wrong. Kneeling here will only make me look down on you more. Gu Yenshin's tears fell. Shin Wei, I really know I'm wrong. Please give me a chance. just one chance. You have no chance left. I stood up and said to the security guard, show him out. If he appears at the company entrance again, call the police directly. The security guard stepped forward to pull Gu Yenshin, but Gu Yenshin held the door frame tightly and refused to get up. Shinwei, I'm not leaving. If you won't forgive me, I won't leave. Then kneel, I said, not looking back as I walked into the company. On the first day, Gu Yenshin knelt for an entire day, not eating or drinking. On the second day, he came again, still kneeling in the old spot. On the third day, he came again. It was raining outside. Gu Yenshin knelt in the rain, his whole body soaked, his lips purple, his body trembling. Xiao Lu couldn't stand to watch any longer, softly saying, Chairman, he has been kneeling for 3 days. If this continues, something will happen. I looked at the heavy rain outside the window and fell silent for a few seconds. Call an ambulance and take him to the hospital. As for where he goes after he wakes up, that's none of my business. Xiao Lu was taken aback for a moment, then nodded and went to make a call. The ambulance arrived, and the medical staff lifted the already semi-conscious Gu Yenshin into the vehicle. The onlookers were buzzing with discussion. This woman is too cruel. Her husband has knelt for 3 days and still won't forgive her. What do you know? Her husband cheated, kept a mistress, and even tried to take over her company. If it were you, could you forgive? Well, cheating husbands deserve it. There is something to be despised in every pitiable person. I stand in front of the floor-to-ceiling window, watching the ambulance fade away, with no emotional fluctuation whatsoever. The phone rang. It was Gu Mu calling. I hesitated for a moment and answered, Shinwei. Gu Mu's voice was sharp and piercing again. Do you want to drive my son to his death before you're satisfied? He knelt for 3 days, and you won't even look at him once. Is your heart made of stone? Mom, I said calmly, your son knelt there by his own choice. I didn't make him kneel. He doesn't have you. He'll die. Mrs. Gu cried. Shinwei, I beg you, please remarry him. He can't be without you. Can't he live without me? I laughed. So when he cheated, why didn't he think about not being able to live without me? When he slept with Lin Wanqing, why didn't he think about not being able to live without me? When he wanted to seize my shares, why didn't he think about how it would be impossible without me? Mom, stop deceiving yourself. Gu Yenshin doesn't love me. He just can't live without the money in my hands. Now the money is gone. Of course he will try to get it back. Kneel for 3 days, perform a sob story, and you'll soften my heart. You can take the shares back. He's too naive. Mrs. Gu cried on the other end of the phone, gasping for breath. Shinwei, just pity this old woman a little. I'm begging you. Sorry, I don't go along with this. I hung up the phone. Xiao Lu knocked and came in, handing me a document. Chairman, Gu Yenshin's divorce agreement has been processed, and the court's ruling was issued today. I opened the file and saw that the last page said, granted divorce, 3 characters, light as air, yet heavy as iron. 3 years of marriage, ended like that. No sadness, no regrets, only release. I signed the document and handed it to Xiao Lu. Send this to Gu Yenshin, and also schedule the company's renaming press conference for tomorrow. I want everyone to know that from now on, there is no Gu Group, only Shin Group. Xiao Lu took the document, his eyes shining. Chairman, you are so handsome. I smiled. Looking out the window, the rain had stopped, and the sky cleared. A rainbow hung over the city, as beautiful as a painting. Chapter 10, The Queen's Curtain Fall. On the day of the renaming press conference, hundreds of media outlets gathered. I wore a red suit, high heels clicking, standing on the stage with a huge backdrop behind me that bore 4 large characters, Shin Group. The seats were full in the hall, cameras and photographers trained on me, flashbulbs popping. I cleared my throat and began to speak. Dear media friends, hello everyone, I am Shinwei. From today, the Gu Group is officially renamed the Shin Group. This is not just a simple name change, but a thorough transformation. In the Gu Group in the past, there was internal corruption, cronyism, and chaotic management. After I took over, I have dismissed 47 employees for violations of discipline and recovered more than 20 million in embezzled funds. The current Shin Group is a public, transparent, and efficient enterprise. We will adopt a brand new image to serve our clients and give back to society. The audience downstairs erupted in warm applause. A reporter raised a hand to ask, Miss Shin, may I ask about your ex-husband, Mr. Gu Yenshin? What is his current situation, I answered calmly. Mr. Gu Yenshin is no longer my husband, we are divorced, I cannot disclose his personal affairs. Another journalist asked. Mr. Shin, Ms. Lin Wanqing is being prosecuted for intentional murder attempt, as the victim. Do you have anything to say? I replied. The law will render a just verdict, I trust the court. Another journalist asked. Mr. Shin, online rumors say you are ruthless, having driven your ex-husband and mother-in-law to their deaths. What's your view? I smiled and said, everyone has their own stance and views, I respect that, but what I want to say is that from start to finish, I have been using legal means to protect my legitimate rights. I didn't do anything wrong and I don't need to apologize to anyone. For those who say I am heartless, please put yourself in my shoes. If your husband cheats, supports a mistress, and wants to take your assets, what would you do? Smile and forgive, or cry and endure? I'm not a saint, I'm just an ordinary woman. How others treat me, I treat others the same, that's very fair. There was another round of applause from the audience. After the press conference, I returned to the office, and Xiao Lu was already waiting for me. Chairman, news from the court, Lin Wanqing has been sentenced to 4 years in prison, Xiao Lu said. Gu Lihua has been sentenced to 3 years, Gu Jianjun to 2.5 years. And the others have all been sentenced as well. How is Gu Yenshin? I asked. Gu Yenshin hasn't been prosecuted, but all of his assets have been frozen. He's living in a rented house now, making ends meet by taking odd jobs. Xiao Lu paused. He's still asking about you. Don't worry about him, we're completely out of contact with him now. Xiao Lu nodded, then handed me another document. Chairman, this is Shin Group's first quarter financial report. The profits have grown by 30% compared to the same period last year. I opened the file and, looking at those pleasing numbers, a smile curled at the corner of my mouth. Very good, from today the company is on the right track. By the way, did you finish what I asked you to do? Xiao Lu nodded. It's done. The 50 million you donated to the charity has already been credited. Also, the 100 underprivileged students you funded have already started attending school. I nodded in satisfaction. Chairman, why do you donate so much money? Xiao Lu asked curiously. I stood up, walked to the window, and looked at the bustling city outside, because I want everyone to know that Shinwei is not just someone who revenges. I will make money, and I will spend it, I will punish bad people, and I will help good people. I want to show those who once looked down on me how I live with dignity. Xiao Lu looked up to me in awe. Chairwoman, you are truly the most formidable woman I have ever met. I smiled, and patted her on the shoulder. Enough, stop flattering, go to work. Xiao Lu grinned and walked out. I stood by the window, sunlight streaming over me, warm and cozy. The phone rang. It was a stranger number. I answered, and a familiar voice came through the phone. Shinwei, it's me, it's Gu Yenshin. His voice sounded much older, as if he had aged by 10 years. Is there anything? I asked. I just want to hear your voice. Gu Yenshin's voice was a little choked. Shinwei, I really regret it. Regret not cherishing you properly. What's the use of saying this now? Gu Yenshin, let's be fine on our own. Can you give me one more chance? Gu Yenshin cried. I've really changed. I really know I'm in the wrong. Sorry, I can't. I hung up, and added his number to the blacklist. Some people, once missed, are missed forever. Some mistakes, once made, you can't go back. I don't hate Gu Yenshin, and I don't hate anyone in the Gu family. I just don't want to have anything to do with them anymore. I want to move forward, toward a better future. A month later, Shin Group's stock price hit a new high. 6 months later, I appeared on the cover of Forbes, with the headline, From a Abandoned Wife to Queen, Shinwei's Legendary Comeback. A year later, I met someone who truly loved me. He didn't seek my money or my fame, only me as a person. His name is Lu Jingming, an ordinary university professor, gentle and graceful, with a very nice smile when he laughs. When we first met, he didn't know I was the chairman of Shin Group, and he thought I was just an ordinary office worker. We talked for a long time, ranging from poetry and songs to philosophy of life, and we found a strong connection. Later he learned my true identity, and he didn't change his attitude, still treating me the same as before. I like you as a person, it has nothing to do with your money, he said. I cried. This is the first time I cried since the divorce, not because of sadness, but because of being moved. So there really are people in this world who truly love me. 2 years later, I married Lu Jingming. The wedding wasn't grand. We invited just a few close friends and held a simple ceremony in the church. I was wearing a white wedding dress, and he wore a black suit. We stood in front of the priest, exchanging rings with each other. I do. 3 words, simple and firm. Outside the window, the sunlight was just right, and the breeze was gentle. I turned my head and glanced back at the church door. There was no Gu Yanchen, no Lin Wanqing, and no one from the Gu family. They have all been left behind by me, and they can no longer catch up with me. From now on, Shenwei's life will be full of happiness, with no regrets. As for Gu Yanchen and Lin Wanqing, I heard that Gu Yanchen later went to another place, worked on a construction site moving bricks, and life was very hard. I heard that Lin Wanqing behaved badly in prison and was given extra punishment, sentenced to 2 more years. I heard that Madame Gu eventually went to a nursing home, and no one took care of her. She was left all alone. None of these has anything to do with me anymore. I have my life, and they have their ending. What goes around comes around. Good will be rewarded, and evil punished. It's not that there is no punishment, it's just not the time yet. When the time comes, everything will be paid back in full. I linked arms with Lu Jingming and walked out of the church. Sunlight spilled over me, warm and cozy. Wife, where are we going? Lu Jingming asked me with a smile. I looked up at the blue sky and white clouds, and smiled. Home, the end.